Welcome back to QD Clinic. Hi, I'm Jack Cush with Room Now. Maybe you've heard this joke. The physician knows everything and does nothing. The surgeon, he knows nothing and does everything. The radiologist sees everything while he sits in the dark. And the pathologist knows everything. It's just a little bit too late. And then, of course, there's the rheumatologist. We know. Why do we know? Well, because we're smarter than the average doc, and we go to roomnow.live. Today's case is doctors in the dark, also known as the dark side of medicine. What? Is it going to be that kind of lesson here? So I saw a man who was having problems in his hands and had a x-ray done. I didn't have it, but I was able to call the radiologist, and we went through this. So the person just has chronic hand pain, wrist pain, not any swelling, whatever, but pain over, the wrist, MCP 2 and 3 and 4. Really, that's about it on both hands, one worse than the other. The interesting thing about this is I'm now getting radiologist input by Zoom. So I spoke to the radiologist. We reviewed the x-rays. He showed me the cardinal signs of CPPD, which included, the drooping or hook osteophyte at MCP 2 and 3, narrowing at MCP 2 and 3 and maybe 4, but sparing of the PIPs and DIPs. There's always the triangular ligament calcification, but then there's another one that's called the lunate scaphoid ligament calcification that's actually more common. And anyway, good evidence of calcium pyrophosphate and also pericapsular calcification around the MCPs. Interesting. But what I was really excited about and interested in was my ability to talk to the radiologist virtually. And I think that's where we're going. This is what's happened as a result in the pandemic. The grand old days of rheumatology were when you could do what? You could go and review the x-ray with the radiologist down in the radiology pit. You could go into the pathology office, find who's managing the case, talk to the pathology resident or the pathologist, and get the lowdown on the autopsy results or on the and look at the slides. And so you could deal with these people directly. Maybe not so easy in the last 3 years. And again, Zoom technology being what it is, this is now the new way, the easier way that you can interface with those doctors in the dark. Who are we talking about here? We're talking about the radiologists. We're talking about the pathologists, including the ones who do the autopsies. We're talking about dermatopathologists. Why not even the dermatologists having the ability to take pictures and share them with the dermatologist real time and talk to them real time on Zoom? It's easy to do, right? It just takes 5 seconds, 5 minutes of their time. It might be the best way to communicate, especially with the dermatologist. You could do this with other cognitive disciplines where it's hard to get a consult, hard to get input. Genetics, for instance. Like, why not? And this boils down to maybe the last point I'll make, and that is the future of virtual medicine is not going to be that we're all going to have, virtual clinics, which many of us should. And if you're not, I understand why. But you're part of the past, and those who will do virtual medicine are going to be part of the future. And that's a throwdown statement, is it not? But I really want to get to virtual peer-to-peer consultation. I mean, this is being done, especially in places where, rural medicine, where, the orthopedist can't go to outer West Texas to see patients and whatnot. You can do peer-to-peer consultations. And this happens at the Cleveland Clinic all the time. They have highly specialized vasculitis mavens who you, the rheumatologist, can consult with on your case to assess whether or not that patient should be referred to the Cleveland Clinic for a further evaluation. This could very well be the future of rheumatology. Again, I think I want to really start with resurrecting those relationships with those doctors in the dark who really add a lot to your practice. But think about how this plays out in the next 10 years or more, and how we can use virtual connections to review, solidify diagnoses, solidify our relationships with our peers who we really need to have strong relationships with. And I mean the musculoskeletal radiologists, the pathologists, the dermatopathologists, and the dermatologists are really high on my list. So hope you find it interesting or useful. Talk tomorrow.